Hello all you wonderful Rise of Kingdoms players out there, this is Dragothien here, and today we're going to update our 5 Cav army setup. We've got a max Chandragupta, we've got a maxed William. I've got to retool because there's a lot going on with both of those new commanders. They are a great part of a 5 Cav army setup. I want to make sure that you guys know my thought process behind these things. Now again, as you've seen in my Commander Mastery series for the 2 new commanders, Chandragupta isn't exactly a must max have right this second. If you're going to use him, you should max him. But if not, to me, there's no rush. He does have some things that are very unique that are nice, but they're not game breaking, they're not game changing. I have him maxed out, so I'm going to use him, and he is going to be used to very good effect. However, I'm going to make sure that we don't nerf our group just for having a commander maxed sake. So let's jump in. We're going to start from the top and work our way down. I've retooled a lot of these pairings, and I'm going to go through why I made these selections. I think that you're going to find a lot of these pairings very interesting and a little bit different than my 5 Cav armies in the past, and I'm going to show you why. First off, we're going to go with Chandragupta with Mina. Now, hear me out on the Chandragupta Mina thing. All right, so most of the Cav commanders that have skill damage, they're around anywhere between 14 and 1700 skill damage factor. Okay, so when you go in the active skill, it'll say 1400, 1700, something to that effect, right? Well, with Chandragupta, he has a guaranteed 40% extra damage for 3 seconds, which means the secondary will always have 40% extra skill damage as well as just normal troop damage. Now, there's also the blessings to take into account that do stack up. Again, I've talked at length about this. I don't think this blessing fires off nearly as much as it should, or at least for me it doesn't. I'm super unlucky with it because generally 9 times out of 10 I don't have full stacks even though I have him maxed. However, the 40% is always on, okay? So, well, for 3 seconds. So it's always going to trigger whenever you hit Hidden Moon at the very beginning when your skill goes off. So this 40% affects Mina. Now, why Mina? Mina has a 1400 damage factor. However, 75% chance to basically get another 1200 skill damage factor, which puts his total at 2600 skill damage factor, which makes him one of, if not the highest skill damage commanders for Cav in the game, and really one of the highest skill damage commanders period for single target. Now that's not all. So first off, that's the synergy that I'm bringing to the table with Chandragupta Mina. Secondly, of course, you get extra damage if you're going to do rallies. I don't recommend using Chandragupta for rallies. Third, however, exhaust. You're going to be buffing yourself with health, and then each attack has a chance to reduce the health and defense of your target. Stacks up to 5 times. This triggers regularly, so almost all the time you've got basically a 25% health and defense reduction. I'm sorry, a 15% health and defense reduction on the enemy. That's pretty significant, especially when you're trying to target something down. This is why Chandragupta is part of a great murder ball / 5 army setup, because of his ability to reduce the defense and health and buff up the damage to take advantage of that. That's where his benefit comes into play. And again, his 4 skill, very, very nice to have. You get a reduction of damage, which is giving you a little bit more tankiness. Also, this is an additional skill damage factor as well. All stacks of blessings are removed. Anywhere between 2 and 4 is usually what I get to. So anywhere between 1000 and 2000 damage factor is popping off every time he uses his primary skill, but also again buffing and also stacking more blessings. So that's why this engine starts to really purr once those first sets of skills start going off. Now again, the other thing that really plays to the advantage of putting Mina secondary to Chandragupta, and this is a longer explanation than all the other ones that you'll get because this is probably one of the weirder ones that most people don't think about. So you also get the 10% increased march speed and 20% increased attack, which is very nice, but the 4th skill. So the normal attacks of this troop have a 10% chance to increase damage taken by the target by 30%. This is in addition to the 40% damage that you get from Chandragupta's primary skill, in addition to all of the extra bonus damage you're getting more often than not from Mina whenever his skills proc. This is a huge damage engine, which is also a debuffing engine with the Alhamastra or something like that, whatever it's called, Arthashastra. That's all together. So that's why I paired Mina with Chandragupta. Chandragupta isn't necessarily targeted instantly because people view him as more of a support slash extra commander right now, at least right now. But once you start seeing commander combinations like this on the battlefield, he may start being a primary target in your target rotation whenever you're in a murder ball. So just be conscious of that whenever you're fighting. Make sure you're paying attention to your troop levels and pulling back as you need to. That's pairing one, Chandragupta and Mina. Second, we've got Saladin and Double C. Now, I do promote Saladin Decatur on this channel almost 100% of the time, and that would still work in this pairing here. I have it a little bit different in this 5-army pairing because I wanted to bring Attila Decatur to the battlefield. Also because if I have my 5 armies out, I want to be able to pull 1 army back to do a rally, and that's going to be Attila Decatur, of course. I don't have to pull 2 armies back having Decatur out there and Attila out there in separate armies. So I wanted to have Attila Decatur together in case I needed to pull that army back and fast rally something versus having to do some changes. So Saladin Double C works very well. This is a tried and true combination. Reason being, Saladin is a nuking defensive commander. He's got skill damage reduction. He's got defense out the wazoo. And then, of course, Double C, not only is he a heavy attack commander, 30% increased attack here, he also reduces the attack of the target by 40% as well. And of course, with his 4th skill here, it is a heal. You get a heal on top of all that defense and all those good things. So with that being said, this is a great combination. It always has been, always will be. Again, you can sub in Decatur here, especially if you don't have Attila maxed. And then we can talk about some other pairings that you can start using to replace the Attila Decatur combo, because you'd be basically nullifying one of my armies. With that being said, I'll go ahead and jump to Attila Decatur. This is a tried and true combination. Attila and Decatur, this is my rallying pair. I've got amazing gear on this guy. He is top flight, hands down. There is no other better rally pair, but for the open field, this works wonders as well. Of course, Decatur with his Fierce as Fire debuff, basically giving all normal attacks against the target a 50% chance to deal 50% damage. Extra damage can trigger once every 2 seconds. Now, this is a debuff. This means this is affected by all other armies hitting said target. So if you hit attack all on all 5 of your marches, all 5 of your marches get this benefit. This is why Decatur is so good. Okay, so on top of all that, this is available for you as well. Now, of course, you've got the normal and counterattack damage bonuses that he gives to the pairing. He's got a nice heal that's 4 seconds long, each second ticking for 150 healing factor. Very, very nice. And then, of course, Attila with his massive damage bonuses on the primary skill, as well as the 4th skill as well. All of these things come together to make Attila Decatur one of the most formidable, sorry for that background noise, formidable army pairings on the field, whether it's on the open field or whether it's on the rally situation. And of course, this is the top-notch best rally in the game, period, bar none, hands down. Ramses YSG takes a backseat to this. YSG Mechmet, everything takes a backseat to Attila Decatur when you're talking about causing maximum damage. Number 3, I've incorporated William, and I've put him with YSG. William has the attack tree. He does not have the skill tree, okay? So with that being said, I needed to find a way to Rage Engine this skill up, or Rage Engine this pairing up. YSG is perfect for that. His 2nd skill increases. Basically, you get a 10% chance to get an extra 100 Rage for each normal attack. The Archer unit bonus does not apply, obviously, because this will be full cav. However, everything else inside of this works really well with William. So, of course, his AoE damage and AoE shape is really, really good. That's one of the best, if not the, well, it is the best AoE in the game. The 3rd skill doesn't help because it's Garrison. However, the 4th skill, 50% increased skill damage, applies very, very well to William. So when we go look at William really quick, again, for those of you that haven't really gotten into this, okay, so we've got, it's a lengthwise rectangular AoE. I do think it needs to be boosted up a little bit as far as the area that it affects. I think the area is a little bit small, but hopefully they'll boost that up in a little bit. It works when you're in a murder ball, but that's about it. If you're not in a murder ball, it will not hit more than 1 target. It's just too small. Also, again, extra attack troops, extra skill damage buffs are removed, and their march speed is reduced by 30%. It's really, really good. Okay, so not only are you debuffing from all the other armies and causing massive damage, but you're also reducing their effectiveness, and you're also on top of that slowing them so you can murder them down. That's the first skill of William. Second skill, again, you get an extra attack and march speed bonus when you're outside of Alliance territory, which I like to use my armies outside of Alliance territory because that means I'm pushing the enemy, and I should be pushing with a group of people, not by myself, but I am always going to be pushing the enemy. Also, 10% extra damage on top of all that. Okay, so we got 50% skill damage boost from YSG, plus another 10% from the second skill from William. Then also, while on the map, another attack bonus, and normal attacks have a 10% chance to inflict another 1000 damage factor nuke. On top of that, if your target is surrounded, which by an definition of this video, they will be surrounded with 5 armies, up to 5 surrounding troops are counted, perfect, you get an extra 100 times 5. So 1500 damage factor here, 1500 damage factor here, that's 3000 damage factor. That's why William does also work as a secondary to Chandragupta. Now, the problem here is that damage is spread out over chances versus Mina, which is why I chose Mina to go with Chandragupta. It's at least 1400 damage factor, can be 2600, and more often than not, it is, at least for me, procking off, which means that that's instant. They guarantee to get that 40% skill damage bonus. So that's why I like that pairing. Fourth skill, Hidden Bloodline. Basically, this commander's troops gain 20% increased defense for 3 seconds. That's very nice. The real benefit for this, and this is why every player that has access to William should get him at least to 5551, is the second part. When Hidden Bloodline hits 2 or more targets, which is your primary skill, all this commander's troops and nearby allied troops gain 20% increased defense, which is what you already get, and 50 rage per second for 3 seconds. 150 rage, there you go, no problem. That means all my other pairings, they get 50 rage every second, every time I'm murder balling somebody down, along with everybody else in my alliance. Again, read, it says allied troops. Alliance troops would be my guess. And then the fourth skill, again, is just upping the bonus that you get from the third skill, which is very, very good. So this is my pairing. The reason I want YSG here too, not just because of the rage regeneration, I want that fourth skill from William popping off as much as possible. I want that thing firing off like crazy, and I can also get some damage to boot and boosting skill damage as well. YSG is a perfect fit. Finally, the fourth one, I've been toying around with putting Genghis as secondary. I just can't give up his rage requirement, his reduced rage requirement, and all those other benefits. I know he's a primary target. I know he's targeted down quickly. I did put him with Alex, okay? So with Alex, right, why does this work? Because you can put some other, like Freddy or something, or some random skill damage commander behind Genghis, and it'll work. I've done it in the past. I've done it in some of my other 5 army videos. But why did I choose Alex? Julius is also a really good option here. But I chose Alex again because I wanted to have not only my 5 armies causing as much damage as possible, but I wanted to have alliance utility. And that's where Alex shines. So Alex does a 4-second shield. That 4 seconds, during the effect of that shield, 3 enemy troops in a circular area take increased damage for 4 seconds. And it's a pretty big circle, guys. So again, like it's going to choose your target and then 2 other random targets. And you know when you're in a murder ball, not everybody's following targeting directions, at least 10 or 20% of them. They're just firing off whatever they can get a hold of. Plus with lag and everything, sometimes that's all you can do. This helps the extra damage from yourself, your armies, and your alliance. So and then also, again, of course, the 1200 damage factor shield that helps reduce the damage incoming to Genghis, which is inevitably going to happen because, again, Genghis is a primary target. You gotta pay attention as you're fighting with Genghis inside of this 5 army group. Pay close attention to Genghis and Chandragupta and William. Those are the ones that are going to get targeted first. Saladin doesn't tend to be targeted right away, and then certainly Attila does not get targeted right away on the battlefield because of all the counterattack damage that he does. So those are the 3 you want to keep your eye on, and then as you see large chunks of troops falling off on your menu, pull them back. You'll outrun the people trying to attack you, and you'll continue to attack the target with your other 4 armies. That's the way to play these murder balls. That's the way to play these 5 army setups. Continuing on with Alex, While on the map, troops led by this commander are immune to all damage reduction effects. That means William doesn't affect you, which means you're getting all the skill damage bonuses that Genghis gives, okay? So he has skills that give his army 30% increased skill damage. 30% increased damage, period. I don't know if that's triggered off by William or not, but Alexander nullifies that. That's why I put Alex with Genghis, because he nullifies William's ability to remove his skill damage effects. Also, their normal attacks have a 10% chance to deal an additional 1700 damage factor. This tends to go off once every 10 seconds. That 10% is pretty accurate, sometimes more. I'd say the least I do is once every 10 seconds. A lot of times I'll get it twice every 10 seconds, which is very nice. And if you're targeting a Richard or something like that, or an Attila Decatur, or a Saladin Decatur, or a double C, you reduce the healing effects by 30% as well. Third skill, this doesn't really apply. It's an infantry-only skill. Kind of sucks. However, the fourth skill is really good. Okay, so when not shielded, which is the majority of the time, 40% increased attack. Love it. Going with Genghis, that's great. When shielded, troops gain 30% increased defense instead. Also love it. Genghis having a little more tankiness some of the time is very, very, very good. On top of the shield itself, why not have that? That's very, very good. And again, the expertise kind of just kind of sets everything up and increases the shield stuff when it comes to the AoE damage reduction effects and things like that, or the increased damage taken stuff, all that good stuff. So that's my 5 army setup. So we got Chandragupta Mina, we've got Saladin double C, we've got William YSG, we've got Genghis Alex, and we've got Attila and Takeda. So those are my 5 army setups. You can toy around with a little bit of variation in there. You can kind of get everything rolling. Let me go ahead and give you a 5 army burst real quick, just to show you what this looks like on a barbarian. It's not going to obviously be like this on the battlefield against an army, but it's pretty close because these are higher level barbs and it's not too bad at all. Let me see here. Let me get all 5 of these puppies out and we're going to go and cause some fun here. All right, here we go. All 5 attack. This is what a murder ball would look like. You've got enemies on the field here. You're going to go ahead and target these guys down right away. And you're going to see once the skills go off, bing, 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 all kinds of craziness is going to happen. It just immediately disintegrated. It went from half health to immediate disintegration, just like that. Is there a 30 around here? No, these are all 28s and 29s. Bummer. All right, but that's what it looks like, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and this update to the 5 Cav army setup. This is Dragothien here signing out. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one. Take care.